Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Look, it's a pleasure to be here. I want to take you through basically Krakatoa, what we've got going on and where we are, and obviously sticking with the rare earth theme, and again the ionic clay, or the clay-hosted rare earth theme specifically. But I want you to make sure that you do take out that Krakatoa isn't just a rare earth company. We've actually got three strings to our bow, and hopefully, if I get enough time today, we'll be able to show you that and prove it to you. So, typical disclaimer. Why Krakatoa? I guess this is pretty much usually one of the slides we throw in at the end, but I'll put it at the front for a specific reason, just to actually highlight what we are about. We focus on rare earth metals, obviously elements, and obviously specialty metals as well. And right now we've also got nickel PGE targets, which we're looking to drill before the end of the year. So look, we've got strong foundations, we've got the metals we believe in the ground, ready to go. We've got that growth potential, which obviously as investors, that's what we're all looking for. And we're located in Australia, Tier 1 areas, obviously emerging mineral camps. And our strategy is focused. We are doing systematic but yet very aggressive exploration. We are spending a lot of money in the ground, as we do as geologists, and I thank the board for being able to do that. And look, all our projects are 100% owned too, so there's not many companies out there that can sort of say that. So as a corporate overview, we trade on the Australian Stock Exchange as KTA. We've got 345 million shares on issue, about 4.2 million in the bank, it's a little bit less, that was at the last quarter. And look, we've got a very low EV comparative to peers, let's say, at the moment. If you look at this, we had a major discovery earlier in this year, and obviously that took our share price right up and gave us a much bigger market cap. As everything in the junior space has happened, it's all dropped off quite low. So look, there's your investment opportunity right there, peoples. Executive team. Look, I'll let you guys go on the website and have a look at this because there is a few slides to get through. But that's the team that's behind these companies, and we're going very well. As for the projects, okay, 6 projects in all. 2 of them I'll be talking to you about today. Mount Clare is obviously one of our focuses. We've identified clay-hosted ionic rare earths in this area. We've also been very fortunate also to identify some basement conductors which we believe are very prominent to be nickel copper PGE sulfides. And King Tamba, just down the road, obviously that's a rubidium lithium, it's a pegmatite swarm, it's an LCT pegmatite. Over in New South Wales, we've got other systems. We've got an intrusive related gold system. We've also noticed some clay-hosted ionic rare earths in some of the granites that we have there, as well as tungsten and tin. And then we've got Belgravia, it's copper-gold porphyry system, but I won't be talking about those ones. I'm just going to focus on what we've got near term, what we're focusing on right now. So everybody knows where we are. It's an electronic revolution. We're all moving in that direction. We know what we need. The minerals are set in stone. So this is just pretty much a revoting of what everybody else has been telling us all day. So obviously critical metals, where we look at the US department, this is quite an old slide, this one. We know there's neodymium, dysprosium, terbium. They're all up there. All the rare earths that we're looking for are in there. So again, just another bit of, you've probably seen this about 10 times today, so I won't drag on it, but like light rare earths, heavy rare earths, the good thing about this is, the market is there, the deficit's there, it's going to open up. Now rare earths, obviously as we've been explaining and as Mark said from ABX, rare earths, especially the clay-hosted stuff, has been pretty much dominated by China. All the tech, all the information, all the IP is in China. Hasn't really escaped from there. So the rest of the world is playing catch-up, and they're playing a 50-year catch-up. It's like anything in the world. As soon as you start to get that appetite for it and there's a demand for it, and especially now as they're becoming critical and special, we're actually going to see this industry really flourish and actually a lot more of these things actually coming. So what is that? How does that all fit, I guess, into Krakatoa? You know, what do we got? This one here just takes you through a bit of an idea of where we sit as a company, what projects we've sort of got. Now, Mount Clare, okay, we've got our rare earths, we've got our nickel opportunities, copper. We've also got pegmatites out there, which we know, which we've got to go and get sampled. The next one is, it's labelled there, Dalgaranga. It's actually called King Tamba now. Everyone was getting confused with the gold mine, so we renamed it. Now, that one there, sitting there, we've got some basically titanium, tantalum, zirconium, rubidium. Yeah, there's a lot of things in that as well as lithium. Okay, so discovery to definition. You know, these are the share price catalysts, and this is what probably 90% of you guys sitting in this room, and girls are sitting in this room, are actually looking for. Throughout the last few years, we've been able to define our resource drilling over a tower project, which we just discovered these clay-hosted rare earths. We've started our initial metallurgical work, and obviously that is going to be ongoing, and that is one of the key factors with any clay-hosted rare earth deposit. By the end of, I'm probably predicting this, probably next quarter, we'll have our maiden resource out on these rare earths. We're also be undertaking probably more metallurgical studies, trying to crack those codes, and then obviously we've got a lot of upside in our area as well. On the flip side of that, looking at the sulfides, we've been fortunate to identify some basement conductors, which I'll get to, which is one of the major aspects, I think, and the big kicker for the company going forward. I could be up here next year touting the same thing as what Chalice has. That's what I hope. King Tamba. Again, that's an LCT, or lithium tantalum rubidium project that we've got. We've drilled that out recently. We've had some news release put out on that, some of the results coming back from our drilling, and now we've got maiden resource coming out very, very soon. Okay, following that, we'll have obviously some metallurgical test work, and then we'll be looking into scoping studies. So that's what it looks like in a timeline. It's very convoluted, looks very busy. It is, because it is a busy time for us. Yeah, so look, we've got a lot of drilling going on. Right now, heritage surveys are happening in the next few weeks, which will allow us then to start drilling some of these sulfides that we've identified. Targets, sorry. 2 resources are going to be out before the end of the year. So, Mount Clare. Now I can slow down a bit. Mount Clare. What we've discovered here, and I'll take you back probably about 2 years when I first started with Krakatoa, we'd had all this ground up there, and there was like a lot of hope and a lot of ideas that were going around. Now, this is an area that hasn't been very well explored. But when it was initially explored, it was explored for different minerals. So we've been able to take that and identify that we do have clay-hosted regolith occurrences in the area. We proved that earlier this year. We then came in, re-drilled that, and we're drilled out a nice resource base for it. We've also been able to identify these large-scale sulfide targets. They're drill ready. We do know there is heavy mineral sands in the area. We do know we've got zircon, rutile, ilmenite, and obviously monazite. Monazite is the backbones of the rare earth, what we have up there. So we do understand that the mineral component that we do have is all coming from monazite, which is obviously one of the well-known minerals. Obviously, there's also a lot of additional rare earth regolith that we have in the area. Now, so the opportunity here is really for us, again, to identify some hard rock sources of this. We've seen what's been happening around the area, and we understand these, and we do have a lot of targets here. It's just about getting manpower and getting out there. You know, we've got over 2,300 square kilometres that we're exploring at the moment. So it's quite an extensive area, and I've been around and gone over there with quad bikes, and that's the only way you can really get around these areas. Okay, so the Tower prospect. We put out an exploration target on this after we drilled this initially. This was the discovery we made back in April. You can see those red, actually they're green dots up on the slide here to your right. Now, those ones there are the initial drill holes that we did. Now, we drilled those based on the tracks that we could get access in with the drill rig. So they were just haphazardly drilled. We identified that we had massive, thick, regolith, clay-hosted rare earths. So the next step was obviously to drill this out and put an exploration target in it, because we do know this continues down. So obviously all those red little triangles there you see there, they're basically where we've drilled recently, and that's where our exploration target of up to 500 million tonnes is basically being designed. So look, the good thing out here, I guess, is that we don't have any intense agriculture. We don't have to deal with many farmers. We don't have anything else to worry about out there in that respect. What we also need to know, and I guess is the one thing which Mark alluded to in the previous discussion, was that these rare earths hosted within the clays, and as Mark said, they're ionic, which is a very, very cheap one. The next part is it's bound with the elements, but it's not actually in the mineral, it's colloidal. These things here are lower grade, but they are a much, much lower capex, much, much lower opex. Okay, so you've got to think of it like that. So the upside, there's a lot more to come. So you'll notice here in the centre, where the pointer is here, that's the tower area. That's where we identified the initial ionic rare earths, or the clay-hosted rare earths. What we've got is we've identified a massive area up the top here, which obviously hasn't been touched yet from a drill point of view. That area itself is 150 square k's. Again, very similar geology, very similar prospectivity there as well. So look, we've got enough. It's about what we do with it in the end. So just to give you a bit of comparatives between, say, a few of the other groups that are in the ionic systems, IXR here, like everything is coloured on these graphs here, is the payable rare earths within their elements, okay? So that's their basket. That's what they've got in their resources. They're the payables. So you can see ours, very, very similar, okay, to these two here. Now, this company here has got a market cap of over 160 mil. The one below it's over about 60 mil. Now I'm going to move a bit faster because I really want to get to these slides. Basement sulfides. Okay. We've been very fortunate here. We flew some VTEM survey early in the year, and we came back with some really good VTEM and NOMs. We've then gone out and done some moving loop on some of the areas we could get to quite easily, and we had access. Now, we've been able to come up with some really good conductors, which we're actually ready to basically get in there and drill before the end of the year, hopefully, obviously pending heritage survey results. Now, the opportunity here is significant. When you look at where we are, how unexplored this area is, and what's happened, obviously, with Julimar and Chalice, you can start to understand that these opportunities come once in a lifetime as well. So size does matter. It doesn't matter what they say, size does matter. So look at your EM comparisons, what we've got here. You look at Chalice's resources EM, conductor, when they first had their conductor E. Okay, now that came out at about 11,000 Siemens, basically. It was a very small conductor sitting right on the edge of the plate, where it was also very, very orientated with the magnetics. Had all the other hallmarks in there too, just like we have. So what we look at, we've got two conductors, big ones. There's 10 of them really, but these are the two main ones that we're focusing on, and this is what we'll be drilling before the end of the year. So look, if you're going to get on board, it's probably times right now, not in 6 months' time. King Tamba, quickly mention that just before I've got 14 seconds. Look, have a look at the slide. There's a lot of opportunities here. We will have a resource out before the end of the year. That's our exploration target. That's what we're looking at, and I believe we'll finished up now. Thank you.